Hello everybody, welcome to my facilitation. Today we are going to be focusing on leading in the workplace. So leading in the workplace has a lot of different meanings to it, but today we're going to be focusing more on how managers in the organizations or even leaders in the organizations can help lead the employees that they're working with. So I will go through today's agenda. So I'll just start with a quick introduction, just introducing myself. Then we'll go through our lesson plan. We'll do our learning outcome, a little icebreaker, so we get a little more comfortable in this activity, as well as an in-class session, like an in-session activity, and then a post-session activity. Then I'll allow you guys to give me some feedback on how I did today, and then a conclusion. So today's lesson plan is going to be a quick introduction. The outcomes are going to take about 1 minute to do, icebreaker for a few minutes. The activity is going to take about 10 minutes, and the post one will take about 2 minutes. I'll give you guys about 3 minutes just to give me some feedback and fill out the feedback form, and then I'll just give a quick conclusion for like 1 minute. Alright, so today's learning outcome is what tools are needed for you to become an effective leader in the workplace, and to know how to effectively communicate with members of the organization so that you can become an effective leader and be able to get the results that you desire. So our icebreaker activity, so I'm just going to get people to just start off by giving me their name and what program they're in, as well as just say what your favorite movie is, and then are you a leader or do you prefer being a follower instead of being a leader, and name one effective leader for yourself. So I'll start myself here. So my name is Junior. I'm currently in the HR program. My favorite movie would be The Dark Knight, because I'm a big Batman fan. I would probably say I'm more a leader, but at times I'm okay with being a follower, just depending on the situation. If I see somebody is more qualified to be the leader, I'll let them take the lead, and then I can just step into the other roles. And then in terms of an effective leader, I would probably say somebody like Ray Lewis, who's like an NFL player, a former NFL player. He was a really effective leader and was able to help his team win 2 Super Bowls when he was on the team. So I guess I'll have Nav start us off.
So my name's Nav. I'm in the HR program too. What is my favorite movie? Probably The Avengers. All of them. And then I'm kind of a leader and a follower, just like you. It just really depends. Like how you said, if there's someone else who's a better leader, then I'll let them lead. Name an effective leader, probably I don't know, Sidney Crosby, just because he took their team to a couple of Stanley Cups and won them.
My name is Teresa. I'm in the HR program. My favorite movie would be Cheap Daddy. It's new on Netflix. And I'm both a leader and a follower, though mostly a leader because I run a small business and I have to direct a lot of things. And an effective leader would be Barack Obama. I think he really did a good job with leading.
I'm Frances, and I'm in the HR program. My favorite movie is Inception by Leonardo. I like it.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, I like it. And then I think I'm just a follower, but because my I call this my yeah, I think I know how to follow rules. And then an effective leader for me is Elon Musk,
Oh, okay.
because he's a
Yeah,
good
because
leader.
it's like important. Followers are like as important as the leaders, because if you don't have like effective followers, then it makes it more difficult for the leaders to actually lead. So if people aren't willing to follow the person, then it doesn't matter what they do. They can be doing everything to help people, but if they're not willing to follow them, there's no need like for them to even lead. Alright, so this is going to be our in-session activities. So it's actually a 2-part activity. So basically we're just going to look at how to effectively lead members of the organization, and look at some quotes and some body language to look at like how to actually lead correctly. So it's going to give like a versus which way is more effective than the other ones, and then we'll like discuss them. So for the first one here, we have 2 different quotes. So we have you need to work together, and there's another one that says we need to work together. So this is a situation where you're working as a team. So one of them is a way that puts more onus on the person, and the other one puts an onus on everybody in general. So which one do you guys think is more effective in terms of leading?
I think that we need to work together.
Yeah, we need
Just
to
to get
work
everyone.
Yeah.
We need everyone to work together to be successful. You need to work together is more like telling that one
that
person,
person.
only.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you like look at it, like every word is the same except for just the beginning.
Yeah.
So you just puts just only you need to work together, and it just feels like you're like singling out a person.
Yeah.
When you say we, it also puts like a little bit of it on yourself as well. It's like
Yeah.
we need to do it, so it's like I also need to take responsibility for working as a team instead of it just being one person. And effective leaders are able to communicate that. So in a workplace setting, if you say you need to do more, the person's gonna feel like, wow, so it's just only me, so everybody else is effective instead of myself. But if he says we need to work together, even if there are some people that are actually doing it correctly, but you're the one that's like slowing everybody down, by saying we, it puts less burden on the person. It makes them feel more comfortable and more willing to be led in the future. So then the next one here is going to be saying a couple things. So this is just staying consistent in your work. So then a person can either say, great work, keep it up, or another person might say, I want you to keep doing what you're doing. So there's two different ones. Which one do you guys feel is more effective in terms of it?
Great work, keep it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Like there's a compliment.
Yeah, I
great
think great
work.
work.
Oh, you guys think great work?
Because he's telling you, oh, you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Where like the other one, he's not telling you you're doing a good job. He just wants you to keep doing what you're doing.
It's like commanding.
Yeah.
It's demanding. It makes it feel like you're only like just saying what needs to be done. You're not like making the person feel a little more comfortable, and like sometimes a little compliment, even just saying great work, that really can help a person. Because I know like in situations where I work, I feel like it's better when somebody gives me a compliment and then tells me what I should do next, instead of just saying, oh, do that, keep on doing that. I would prefer them to say, great work, I want you to keep on doing that. And then that way I can know that I am doing something correctly, and I'm just gonna be able to keep it up. And then yeah, I want you to keep it up means it's like, it also has like a connotation of like, you're demanding them to do a bit more. Sometimes you will see a lot of people use that first one, not the first one, the second one. It can be effective, but a compliment will definitely make that better. So if somebody had said, good work, I want you to keep doing what you're doing, then the person would actually feel even better. Even just adding just two little words can go a long way.
Yeah.
All right, and then the next one, this is just for something when somebody's work is not being done correctly in the workplace. You obviously know sometimes work isn't always consistent. So sometimes people can say it in two different ways. So somebody can be like, that was terrible in the first one here, where they just tell them directly what they think, and another one could be like, how can I help you fix your work? So what do you guys think would probably be more effective?
How can I fix your work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed if they said that was
Yeah.
terrible.
I think that was
Makes me
terrible
think
is
that-
so harsh.
Make me think that I'm a terrible person if
Yeah.
you say that was terrible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But do you think this would work if the person just wants to like let you know what it is then?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know, it depends on the person who's receiving that statement. So
Oh,
if,
okay.
If
say the guy is willing, like he's open, like he doesn't care, if they come out straightforward, then I wouldn't mind it. That was terrible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But if you kind of mind, like oh, if he calls you out straight, then I'd go for the second one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So sometimes it's like depends on like
Really
also the
depends.
person, right?
And how your relationship is too.
Yeah, because it feels like if I've known a person for like a few years, saying that was terrible, maybe they may not like have any problem with it. But like an effective leader would know, like even if I've known the person, maybe I should still like tell them how can I like help you fix it. And I like the second one because it also will say like where it's like we're doing it together, so I can help you improve yourself instead of me just saying that was terrible.
Yeah.
There's no solution in there, so it's always a good idea to like add a solution in it as well. So being like, I can help you with this, the person will know, okay, so I'm not doing this correctly, but he's gonna help me fix the problem instead of that was terrible, and then you just walk away. Or what if I really learned there? All right, so then the next one, now we're gonna switch it up. We're actually gonna go into some body language in terms of when somebody is giving feedback or even also receiving feedback. So you have one person where they have their arms crossed like this, and then you have another person that they have their arms like this, and then they have a smile on their face. So if you were giving feedback or even receiving feedback, which one would you think is more like appropriate body language to be using?
I feel like
Second one?
second one.
Like the
I
second
feel like
one?
she's engaged in the conversation, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
And this
okay.
one, she's kind of like, ooh, how do you think?
Yeah,
She's-
she's receptive, but this one looks like, okay, bring it on, I'm going to attack it, so
Yeah.
I'm going to get upset.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because sometimes if a person has like their arms crossed, it's like, well, I'm not interested,
Yeah.
right? Because like just like trying to talk to somebody, like for example, like Nav, come up here. It's very good. Like if you're telling me something and I'm just doing this, I'm just gonna be, you're gonna think,
You're
oh,
not listening.
Exactly.
You're
right? And then if I'm doing like this and I have a smile,
yeah.
at least it's like takes away the feeling of like there's any problem. Even also, I noticed if you put your hands behind your back as well, it just shows like you're less like you don't feel like you're dominating
Yeah.
over the person.
Right.
You're just putting your arms behind your back because it's like you're not worried about you swinging for
Yeah.
them or something like that. If I have my arms crossed, I can just go like that,
Yeah.
or I can just be like, and then just walk away. Yeah, usually this is a move that most people do, like if you're sitting in class or you're bored or you're just like waiting like in a line for something. I know a lot of times like,
Yeah.
have you had those situations where it's like somebody's waiting and they're just like,
I do it myself sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially class, when it gets boring, you just go like, alright, when's the time gonna be done?
exactly. And you know what? It's also one thing that when people are doing presentations, you'll also find sometimes they're doing this.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's doing this during a presentation, they're probably not listening to what their group member is saying. So one person could be going on a tangent about one thing, and the person's just gonna be sounding like this, because they're probably not even thinking of what's going on in the
Yeah.
presentation. And I'm pretty sure they don't care because they probably just did their part and they don't care. So even being like this, it shows that like, oh, I'm engaged in my friend's presentation, and then everybody else in the audience can see that. And if people see that you're engaged, it makes them more engaged as well. Like body language goes a long way. Like it tells a more of a story as compared to just like just words sometimes. So then next one we're gonna go into is another one where people are giving feedback. So you have a situation where one person is like has their arms like this, and the other person is standing right beside them, right? And then you have another one where the person is sitting down and the person is pointing at them. So for example, if I'm with Teresa and I'm going like this and I'm telling her something, and then or stand up. If we're like standing beside each other, right, and I have my arms like this, which way do you guys feel is more effective?
I feel like the standing beside each other, because the pointy one seems like he's doing it yelling at the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then oh yeah, go for it.
And it's kind of rude when you're pointing to
Yeah.
someone, right?
Right.
Like I think it's a bad thing.
Even if he's giving like a good like feedback to
Yeah.
him, still pointing looks bad.
Pointing
like,
looks bad.
it looks aggressive.
Exactly, yeah. Like even if the person's not there physically, like let's say somebody is like 20 feet away and can't hear what's going on, and they just see this, they're gonna automatically think,
There's a fight.
yeah, there's a fight, right?
Yeah.
And also one thing is too, you need to also think about dominance. So if a person is sitting down and a person is standing up, if I'm standing like this to Teresa, it feels like I have like power or I'm
Yeah.
above her, right? But if I'm like beside her, we're even, right? Now it's more of an even playing field.
Yeah.
People don't like to feel like you're the one that's above them or you're on top of them. They want to feel like you're both at an equal playing field, and that way they feel more comfortable with you and they want to actually engage with you more. Yeah, and pointing is always one thing I think is always a no-no in terms of being a leader. Never pointing like no. Even if you're saying sometimes good job, that sometimes it may isolate the person and make them feel like not comfortable. You say, oh, great job, right? Even just putting your hands like this, that's a good way to show like, wow, that was a really good job. Body language is one thing I feel like is key in terms of being an effective leader. Some people may overlook that and have negative results. And then when they actually look at body language, that's something that's really key in order to be able to help them. So then we'll go into the next one here. So then this is just going to be a question period for me as a trainer. Did you guys have any like certain questions in terms of leading?
Uh,
I'll give you guys a couple of seconds to try to think of one.
The question I have is, as a leader, if the followers have really bad body language, or when you're trying to communicate with them, the way their body language and their attitude is not right, how
Mhm.
do you come up with a way to kind of correct them in a nice way, or maybe come up with something, maybe a conversation that puts everybody in a lighter mood?
Oh, okay.
something out of-
Yeah. So I know what you mean. It's like, do you like to get more people feel more comfortable when
Yeah.
you're giving them? So I find that a good leader sometimes is also somebody that's able to connect with the people beforehand. So, like for example, in a workplace, a person is gonna feel more comfortable if, let's say, every day they're like, "Oh, how's it going? How's things at home? Oh, you're telling me that you're gonna go on this trip. Oh, how was the trip? Or how's the planning going?" So I feel like an effective leader is able to be able to relate to the people, not always putting everything on work or even sports. Try to put things like on, try to even just think about the person outside of the workplace. Because at the end of the day, we're all human and we want to feel like we are human. So don't make a person feel like they're a robot. Then that way you can get a bit more better results. As well as if you're able to relate to the person, you're able to give them feedback much easier and be able to like tell them, hey, I'm noticing that like you're not really engaged in the conversation. Is there anything that I'm doing wrong? And then that way, putting it all on yourself is always a good idea. Never put things on people because it just makes them feel like you're attacking them. Put it on yourself, and that's fine because if you're putting it on yourself, your feelings aren't gonna be hurt by putting it on yourself.
My question is, there's a lot of values a leader must have, right? But
Mhm.
for you, as a leader, what is the most important values that
I
you
f-
must
yeah.
demonstrate to your?
I feel like communication is like the top one. I feel like you just always need to be able to communicate with people and even get their like second opinion on things. Because if you don't have their like opinion on things, it makes it like much more difficult to like be able to like want to connect. So let's say in a situation where a person may may have an idea like a leader. It's a good idea to run it through everybody, just being like, hey, what do you guys think about this? The person might think,
Yeah.
oh, that's actually a pretty good idea. And then that way they feel more engaged. And as well as I feel like it's important to also just try to make it more of an even playing field. You may be above somebody even in pay or in terms of where you are in the company, but putting you guys on equal playing field, just even sitting at the same level or just being able to like relate with the person just makes you feel more like a human to them, and it makes it easier because obviously in a workplace sometimes people are going to be like, oh, that's the boss, so I don't want to have a conversation with them. I want to just like be with people on my level. If you're able to communicate with people and make them feel comfortable, they're going to be like, oh, okay, this guy is just my friend. And even joking around too. Don't always be serious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you're in a workplace, it's a serious environment, it's okay to
more-
joke around and have fun. Yeah.
Makes it a better environment.
Alright, perfect. And then, so what I'll just get next is just you guys to give me some feedback and how you thought the experience was. So I've actually put together some feedback forms for you guys. And there's one for you. Give me your full, honest feedback.
You just put a check mark?
Yeah, just put a check mark in the box in terms of what you feel. You can leave a comment if you want, but I don't really mind if you guys don't want to add one. Oh, and there's also a bit on the back.
Oh, yeah, that's what. Why is that there?
Yeah, there's one more question.
Oh, my experience.
Alright, perfect. So I'll let you guys put your final thoughts there for me. And then I'll just let you guys to say what you felt about the overall experiences, like learning today.
I thought it was really good. Like everything connected to the learning outcome. And, like the activity you provided actually like was really good. So I liked it.
I think it's very informative and body language is really important and
Yeah.
you know, being a good trainer. So yeah, it's the thing I've learned.
Yeah, I learned that too. 'Cause I never really thought about
The-
body language.
Yeah, but it's that serious.
Is that
Yeah.
I learned a lot and yeah, a lot of things I didn't think about body language before, and I feel like I'm going to apply this to my day-to-day activity and work situations after this training.
Perfect. All right. Yep. And then so then in conclusion, we just looked at it that leadership is not only just a one-way, but it's also a two-way street that needs both sides to be able to cooperate, so it's able to work. And leading is not easy, but the great results. But if you can have great results if you implement it correctly. Not everybody is a leader, which is fine. But it's always a good idea just to look at ways that you can help lead other people, even just be a good follower for other people. So I want to thank you guys so much. So I'm gonna clap for you guys because you guys did like a really good job today. And I want to thank you guys so much for coming today.